welcome back to Snetterton, where shortly we'll be seeing round 8 of the 2019 Radical SR1 Cup. Before the cars come out onto the grid though, let's catch up with one of the drivers who returns to the championship, Mackenzie Walker.
Last year I was primarily racing in the Lotus Cup and had a good time doing that. It's my first year racing. And I had one outing in a Radical in the SR1s at Brands Hatch, which went pretty well. Very happy result with that. I think came 4th and came somewhere else, maybe 5th. And unfortunately at the start of this season I had a rather large incident trying to sell my Lotus. But this will be our first outing back at, being involved with racing today. So extremely excited to get going, see what happens. Everyone here seems lovely, so can't really complain about the company. So just ecstatic to be back on track. Yeah.
The grid for race 2 is based on second fastest times from qualifying, so it's Shane Stoney and Dean Warriner on row number 1, and Will Hunt and Matt Jones on row 2. Adash Radi and Lee Collins on row number 3, with Mackenzie Walker and Mark Tranter on row number 4, ahead of Mark Williams and Sam Ashworth that sit there on row 5. Chris Short and Julian Lay on row number 6, Simon Bailey and amazingly Ross Elliott on the outside of row number 7. Watch out for him, and Paul Clark starts at the back. So the rolling lap about to be completed. The red lights are on the gantry. Shane Stoney, the red and yellow car, sitting now on pole position. The grey car of Dean Warriner alongside. Red lights on, red lights go out. We're racing for round 8 of the 2019 Radical SR1 Cup. It's a good start from Shane Stoney, who's going to take the lead of the race, heading up towards Ritchie's corner. And it's going to be Will Hunt, his main championship rival, that slots himself from 3rd on the grid through into 2nd position and ahead of Dean Warriner. Everybody safely through Ritchie's corner, heading downhill in towards the braking area for the right-hand hairpin at Wilson. Shane Stoney leads the race, Will Hunt 2nd. It's Dean Warriner in 3rd place, and Adash Radia, I think, has just gone through into 4th position there, up into 4th place for the London-based entrepreneur. Great start to the race for him, in stark contrast to the first race of the weekend, where he dropped from 9th on the grid down into 12th position. The field of cars just propelling themselves round through the left-hander at Palmer, number 5 ahead of 16, so that means that Sam Ashworth has taken up the lead of the Rookie Cup in the early stages of the race for the drivers in their first season of racing in the Radical SR1 Cup. Round through Agostini, everybody works their way for the first lap. Shane Stoney already looking to try and make good his escape from Will Hunt, who's there in 2nd place. Dean Warriner in 3rd place. Adash Radia still there in 4th place, but Shane Stoney really has been the man to beat so far this season. There's only one race he has not secured victory in, and in that one he finished in 2nd position. Mathematically, he can't win the championship this weekend, but a double race victory for him here at Snetterton, particularly as his main championship rival Will Hunt had a retirement in yesterday's race, will not do his championship aspirations any harm at all, with 2 more races to come at Donington and 2 more back here at Snetterton after this one. Down towards the bottom of the Bentley straight come the pack, all busy jostling for position. Number 52 there, Ross Elliott. I said watch out for him off the back of the grid. He had a poor qualifying, which meant that he didn't get a quick 2nd lap in, so started 14th on the grid. He's currently up into 8th position on the first lap of the race. Side by side, Mackenzie Walker and Mark Williams through the bomb hole. That's brave stuff from the pair of them, leaning on each other, but fair racing from both as they head up towards the conclusion of the first lap of the race. Onto the brakes at Murray's comes number 52, Ross Elliott. He lies 7th in the championship standings. The man behind him is Chris Short, who is 4th in the championship standings coming into this weekend. The pair of them down in 8th and 9th position, however, at the moment, so they've still got work to do. Over the start-finish line come the first pack of cars already. Shane Stoney starting to pull away from everybody and building that advantage as he did in the early stages. Mark Williams and Mackenzie Walker are still side by side. Mackenzie Walker having none of it and managing to keep the Scotsman from Dalkeith behind, at least for the moment. But Mark Williams, is he going to have another nibble as they come up towards the braking area for Wilson? No, just too far away. Can't manage to sneak his way through and grab the place. So they head up the short straight that will bring them up towards the left-hander at Palmer, the 24-year-old from London, still keeping the CEO from Scotland behind. This is the fight for 11th and 12th position in the early stages of this one, but a good fight it is nonetheless. You can see also packs of cars ahead, all busy squabbling away, and that's Chris Short trying to get up the inside of Ross Elliott. Is he going to make it as they get towards Agostini? No, don't quite think he did. So he slots back in behind with Mackenzie Walker and then Mark Williams not too far away. Now this is the fight for 2nd and 3rd position. Will Hunt under pressure from Dean Warriner as they turn their way through Oggies. Adash Radia keeping them in close quarters as well, the London-based entrepreneur who returns to the championship, having last raced in the middle part of the 2018 season at Silverstone. Here's the battle for 8th and 9th position. Ross Elliott still under pressure from Chris Short, who has not as yet been able to work his magic and gain the place. As for the fight for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, well, that's just heading down in towards Brundle and Nelson now. Will Hunt, then the grey car of Dean Warriner, then Adarsh Radia, and shortly after that is Matt Jones, who will be leading the Fangio trophy at this stage. Then we finally get a little bit of a gap before the next pack of cars. There's a little bit of rain just starting to appear on the camera lens now. Now we've had changeable conditions throughout the course of this weekend. It was a very wet qualifying for them in the morning. The race was damp. It's dry now, but it does look as though the weather might be coming in again here. Adarsh Radia still in pursuit of the grey car of Dean Warriner that sits ahead of him. Dean Warriner is the meat in the sandwich, whilst getting away in the lead of the race. Over the start-finish line has already gone Shane Stoney, but a trio fighting over what is 2nd, 3rd and 4th position. Will Hunt, desperate for a good result following his retirement yesterday. He lost ground in the championship, but is now under pressure from Dean Warriner, and all of the time he squabbles, he's falling away from the championship leader Shane Stoney. Out of the Wilson hairpin, down the short straight that brings them up towards Palmer. Dean Warriner gets a good run this time. He's picking up a bit of a toe. He's looking for the inside line. Brave stuff. They're going to go side by side through the left-hander at Palmer. Will Hunt, you could see the car sliding around as he was on the very edge of adhesion there. But it does look as though Dean Warriner has unlocked the door here to 2nd place. He's got the inside line for the next corner, which is Agostini, and Adarsh Radia might take the opportunity to follow him through. Elsewhere down through the order, Julian Lay absolutely side by side with Chris Short. Chris Short up the inside, takes the place away, and Mackenzie Walker trying to feed his way through, spins on the exit of the corner and is facing the wrong way, so he now is going to drop down towards the tail end of the field. This fantastic fight still for 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. Dean Warriner starting to build a little bit of daylight now between himself and Will Hunt, who's dropped down into 3rd place, largely because Will Hunt's attentions are turned towards defence. He's got Adarsh Radia right with him. As for Mackenzie Walker, well, once the field has gone through, he's able to get the car pointing in the right direction and can continue on his way. Up towards Brundle and Nelson. Mistake for Dean Warriner at the brakes, heading in towards the area of Brundle. That allows Will Hunt to very easily just go straight through, back into 2nd place. Adarsh Radia up into 3rd place, and Dean Warriner down into 4th. It could possibly be 5th if Matt Jones at the wheel of the black car has enough momentum. In fact, he has, Matt Jones through now. So for Dean Warriner, that was a costly mistake at the end of the Bentley straight. He drops from 2nd down into 5th place, and now it's 2 cars fighting over the final 2 podium places. Will Hunt in 2nd place, Adarsh Radia in 3rd place. All of the time, our race leader dominant, pulling away Shane Stoney. Already huge amounts of daylight, no real pressure because the fight is still raging for 2nd and 3rd position. Side by side, up towards Ritchie's they'll go. Will Hunt at the wheel of the white car with the blue flashes. It's the black and the yellow stripes for Adarsh Radia. And as they turn their way out of Ritchie's, is there an opportunity on the brakes as they come up towards the tight right-hand hairpin at Wilson? Adarsh Radia brakes as late as he can, but no, it's not going to work. And as for Matt Jones, well, he is now back under pressure from Dean Warriner, looking to recover from the mistake that he made on the previous lap. He's going to have another go. He tried it earlier on to move up to 2nd place, and the inside of Palmer worked for him on that occasion. It looks like it might have worked for him again now. More spits appearing on the camera lens. This suggests that, the rain is just in the air. It's not falling just as yet. Adarsh Radia, is this a move for 2nd? Yes, it is. Up the inside of Will Hunt he goes. Dean Warriner also managing to grab the place away from Matt Jones. Will Hunt pushed a little bit wide coming out of the corner, so a change for 2nd. It's Adarsh Radia in 2nd, Will Hunt in 3rd. Up to 4th comes Dean Warriner, and down to 5th goes Matt Jones, but Matt Jones will still be leading the Fangio trophy at this stage. Out of Oggies, on towards the short straight up towards Williams, and then it's the big long Bentley straight where the cars are flat out in 6th gear with a top speed of around about 140 miles an hour by the time they get in towards the braking area for Brundle and Nelson. You can see already Shane Stoney has disappeared. Adarsh Radia coming towards us in 2nd place, but a big pack of cars not that far away from him, including Will Hunt, Dean Warriner, Matt Jones. Then the next of the cars is going to be Lee Collins. And not far behind them is going to be Mark Williams, and Mark Williams has got behind him. Well, that's Ross Elliott. Well, Ross Elliott was up into 7th position. He's back down into 9th now, so something has clearly gone wrong for the number 52 car somewhere around the circuit. So for Ross Elliott, he's got all of that hard work to do again, the 25-year-old from Peterborough, to try and gain the places. Around through Corham comes Mark Williams at the wheel of that distinctively liveried number 18 car in the hands of the man from Dalkeith. Right over the curves, but not much more than just the curves heading out of Murray's. You see again those spits on the camera. Over the start-finish line comes the squabble for 2nd place. Adarsh Radia, Will Hunt, Dean Warriner, then Matt Jones, and now Chris Short starting to move up through the order. Started 11th on the grid, car number 11. Chris Short is now inside the top 6. Fantastic work having been done from him. Braking a little bit too late there. That's Will Hunt, who almost outbraked himself in 3rd place. Dean Warren has got the opportunity to try and fight back on the run up towards Palmer. Is he going to try it again up the inside? He is. This is the area where Dean Warren has so much confidence, but Will Hunt this time covers the move off, so he remains in 3rd place. Dean Warren is still in 4th place. The black car is Matt Jones, who sits there in 5th position, and then, as we say, it's the charging number 11 car in the hands of Chris Short that's now inside the top 6. Mistake for Adash Radia. This time he slithers off the circuit. The spits of rain now must be affecting the drivers, because Adash Radia has just dropped 4 places there by the look of things, and has now got all of that hard work to do again. So Dean Warrener is now the man that's at the front of the queue, but he's got Will Hunt, Matt Jones, Chris Short, Adash Radia, Mark Williams, and then the number 82 car of Lee Collins, all to contend with potentially, because they're all not that far away, and if the conditions are starting to deteriorate, it could make things very interesting. Our race leader Shane Stoney heads out of Nelson up towards the bomb hole. He's pushed hard in the early stages to build the advantage and create the gap without overworking the Hankook tyres, so he can now just afford to pace himself towards the second part of the race in what is ever deteriorating conditions now. Under pressure, Adash Radia from Mark Williams as they come round through the bomb hole. You can see the spits of rain, and off and on the grass, that looks like Will Hunt there, off and on the grass, and he's now going to drop down into something like 5th, maybe even 6th position, under pressure from the number 23 car of Adash Radia. He still hasn't got enough momentum after the grassy moment, and Adash Radia goes through to take the place away. Will Hunt tries to fight back on the exit of the corner though. Mark Williams is in the mix as well. Fantastic stuff, all of them slipstreaming each other, and as they head over the start finish line, it's just Adash Radia, but Will Hunt jinks out from behind the slipstream, draws himself alongside on the left hand side of the circuit. That's the outside line for Ritchie's. Is he going to brave it all the way around the outside? He's trying, you know, and he might make it stick here. They're still side by side coming out of the corner, but now Adash Radia has the inside line as they get to the braking area for Williams, but Will Hunt dives back up the inside and takes the place away. Adash Radia fights back on the exit of the corner. They're still side by side heading up towards the straight and in towards Palmer, but now Will Hunt has the inside line for the left-hander, side by side through 2 or 3 corners, and they are still side by side as they come round through Palmer. Now it's Will Hunt that's got the inside line for the next corner. Adash Radia is on the outside line, and Mark Williams makes it 3 wide this time, coming into the braking area for Agostini. Surely that won't work. Will Hunt goes through, finally takes the place from Adash Radia. Mark Williams can't quite capitalise on it, but then Adash Radia lights up the rears and slides sideways coming out of the corner, and Mark Williams almost had a second opportunity there, but somehow Adash Radia only lost the 1 place. In towards the braking area for Oggie's tricky corner, even more so if the conditions are starting to worsen, and as they turn their way round through the left-hander, Adash Radia will be feeling the pressure here. He's got Mark Williams right with him. Ross Elliott, who is very quick also, is just behind the Scotsman, and as they now head onto the Bentley straight, Mark Williams ran a little bit wide there coming out of Williams, clomped the curbs and probably just cost him a 10th or 2, and that could be the opportunity gone now to try and steal the place away. In fact, if anything, he's coming under pressure from Ross Elliott behind, actually. Yeah, the Scotsman gets a bit of a wiggle on the tail end as he turns his way through Brundle, and needs to be careful as he comes out of Nelson and he doesn't lose more momentum, because Ross Elliott at the wheel of the 52 is poised and ready to pounce to take the place away. It really has been a fascinating fight so far, and it's not done and dusted yet, because Ross Elliott now is turning the screw and asking a few questions of Mark Williams. Dean Warrener is now under pressure from Chris Short as they head over the start-finish line, and what were light spits of rain are starting to get slightly heavier now. Over the start-finish line they'll go. Another lap chalked into the book. Dean Warrener looking to try and hang on to second place, but Chris Short from 11th on the grid now into the podium places. This has been a great drive from Chris Short, and he is still not done and dusted with it yet. He wants to try and grab another position if he can. Brakes as late as he possibly can. The man from Wolverhampton putting the director from Essex under pressure as they head down the short straight that brings them up towards the left-hander at Palmer. Brief flick of the brake lights, then they pitch the car in towards the left-hander. The Hankook tyres working hard as they push each other as hard as they possibly can around this circuit in the battle for second and third place. But for the moment it's just the grey car of Dean Warren who has to go defensive on the run in towards Agostini. Chris Short takes a wide line in, might try and cut back on the exit of the corner to get the inside line for Hamilton. If Dean Warren is not wise to it, he could lose out here. Side by side up towards Hamilton. Chris Short has the inside line and goes through to take second place from 11th on the grid. Fantastic stuff from the 44-year-old. So Dean Warriner now having to settle for third position. He will try and attack back if he can, but he's running out of time really with just a couple of laps to go. They thread their way out of Williams and then onto the Bentley straight. Chris Short already looking to try and put daylight between himself and Dean Warriner, who only 3 corners ago he got the place from. Adarsh Radia still under pressure. This is from Julian Lay. I'm not quite sure exactly what's happened to Adarsh Radia, but he was running in second, you remember. He's now way down in 9th position, so it really has been a torrid couple of laps for Adarsh Radia. Promised so much this race, but it's all slowly evaporated in front of his eyes. Here comes Dean Warriner in 3rd position, still not that far away from Chris Short, but not close enough to attack, and he's running out of time and opportunities really. He's not going to try anything at Murray's, he's too far away, and he's now only got 1 more lap to do it, because Shane Stoney goes over the start-finish line to start the last lap of the race. Here's the number 16 car, that's Mark Tranter. He is one of the rookies that we've got in the field, the only driver that runs with the Generation 1 Radical SR1. He is currently running 2nd in the Rookie Cup. So the rest of the cars all file their way over the start-finish line, including Will Hunt, number 21, who after his problems is under pressure from Mark Williams, and Ross Elliott, who has had a bit of a yo-yo race really. From 14th he got up to 7th, dropped back down to 9th, and is now back in 7th place again. Under pressure for 5th position, Will Hunt has got the Scotsman closing right onto the gearbox of the number 21 car, but there's nothing that Mark Williams can do to work his way through to grab the position, so he's now only got, what, 3/4 of a lap to do it. Shane Stoney is already safely heading up towards Hamilton, so he's only got half a lap now between himself and what potentially is going to be victory number 7 of the 8 races we've had in the championship so far. Out of Oggies, up towards Williams, and very shortly on to the Bentley straight for the final time he will go. Here is number 21, which is Will Hunt. He's in 5th position. He's got Mark Williams absolutely with him, pushing him as hard as he possibly can in the closing stages. And as they turn their way round through Oggies, the best opportunity for Mark Williams is to get a good run coming out of this corner here, the right-hander at Williams. And if he can do that, he might just sit in the slipstream and be able to sneak the place away in the very dying stages of the race. Our race leader, though, is just heading round through the bomb hole for the final time. Shane Stoney on course for another victory, another dominant victory in the Radical SR1 Cup through Coram, up towards the braking area very shortly for the final left-hander at Murray's, and then all Shane Stoney needs to do is just accelerate the car towards the checkered flag, and another victory will go in the books, and another one that's important for his championship aspirations. So it's a double win for Shane Stoney as he takes the checkered flag here at Snetterton. It's not the first time he's done that so far this season. He did it at Alton Park for rounds 1 and 2 of the championship, and at Cadwell Park for rounds 3 and 4 of the championship. Solid weekend for him. Chris Short will finish in 2nd place and scoop top honours in the Fangio Trophy ahead of Dean Warriner in 3rd place, and this car here, Matt Jones, finishes in 4th position, 2nd of the Fangio Trophy drivers over the start finish line. Good fight going on still between Will Hunt and Mark Williams towards the checkered flag, but it's just Will Hunt in 5th place ahead of Mark Williams that completes the top 6, and we should have our first rookie home shortly, which will be in 11th position, Sam Ashworth, who again has performed beautifully well in his first season of racing in the Radical SR1s. Confirmation of the results then, a win for Shane Stoney. Chris Short is in 2nd but wins the Fangio Trophy ahead of Dean Warriner and Matt Jones. Will Hunt and Mark Williams complete the top 6. It's Ross Elliott in 7th, Lee Collins 8th, Adarsh Radia 9th and Julian Lay in 10th position. In 11th place, Sam Ashworth is the first rookie home ahead of Mark Tranter in 12th place, Simon Bailey in 13th and Paul Clark, the last of the finishers, in 14th position. After the celebrations on the podium, let's catch up with some of the drivers.
Brilliant. Yeah, managed to get a good start, and then we were waiting for this rain to hit, so we got a little bit sort of lucky. We were expecting it to hit about halfway through, and it held off, so we were all right. But it started to get a little bit slippy by the end. You know, quite a few people were having moments. I had a couple of moments, so it was a matter of trying to maintain the gap by that point. But yeah, no, really pleased. You know, the car's been brilliant all weekend, so I got a massive thank you to Quattro. They've done a brilliant job as usual, and really pleased.
Very, very happy. Didn't expect to be. In fact, it's my best ever finish in SR1 Cup after 2 seasons. So, but yeah, from 12th or 11th on the grid to finish 2nd, I couldn't be happier. The car was set up, so thanks to the team for setting up the car perfectly for that race. And I just seemed to be catching people under the brakes, and around Coram, we felt the car felt great as well. So. Yeah, super chuffed.
What a race. I mean, the race was brilliant, really close, no touching, I mean, incredible. The race was good, yeah. It was good to have a bit of a dry race. Obviously, the conditions changed as we went through, but I enjoyed it. The goal was to get past Mark and get the Rookie Cup again, which I did, so I'm very pleased. It's actually the furthest race from my home, but quite a few of the family have come today because there's quite a few live in London, so yeah, great support.
Let's have a look at the current championship standings. It's an impressive championship lead for Shane Stoney, and Chris Short now moves up from 4th to 2nd in the standings, 4 points ahead of Will Hunt, who's got 4 points in hand over Julian Lay. Matt Jones and Mark Williams complete the top 6 in the overall standings. In the Fangio Trophy, it couldn't be closer. Julian Lay 1 point ahead of Chris Short in 2nd, who's got 1 point in hand over Matt Jones, who sits there in 3rd position, with Mark Williams, Paul Clark and Simon Bailey in 4th, 5th and 6th respectively. That's all from Snetterton. Join us next time out when we're at Donington Park in the East Midlands. Goodbye.